Let me ask you something. Are you tired of being average? Are you tired of walking through life like you got time? Like you got options? Because I got news for you. Average is a disease, and the only cure is greatness. See, average don't demand much. Average lets you hit the snooze button. Average says, I'll do it tomorrow. But greatness demands your soul. Greatness don't come cheap. Greatness will cost you your comfort, your excuses, your laziness, and most of all, it's gonna cost you your old mindset. Let me break it down for you. You don't get to be extraordinary doing what average people do. You wanna rise, then you gotta leave average behind. You gotta kill it, bury it, walk away from it like it never existed. You will never escape average until you raise your standards. I'm telling you right now, you're not broke, you're not lazy, you're not unlucky, you've just been settling. You've been playing at a level way beneath your potential, not because you can't go higher, but because you won't demand more from yourself. And that's what has to change. See, average isn't just about what you do, it's about what you accept. You've accepted being late. You've accepted turning work that's just enough. You've accepted a body you're not proud of, relationships that drain you, a job you hate, and habits that break you. And every time you accept less than your best, every time you tolerate mediocrity in your life, you teach yourself that it's okay to live below your purpose. That's the trap. You don't need more motivation. You need a new standard. When you say, I don't do late, then suddenly you start showing up early. When you say, I don't quit when I'm tired, I quit when I'm done, then you stop looking for ways out and start looking for ways out and start looking for ways through. When your standard is excellence, you don't tolerate average from yourself. It becomes personal. See, some people wait for a crisis to change. They wait for the doctor to say, you have 6 months to live before they start eating clean. They wait until their relationship's already over before they decide to start listening. They wait until they're broke before they learn about money. But what if you raise your standards before life forced you to? Some of y'all got goals, and that's beautiful. But a goal without a standard is just a wish. If your goal is to get straight A's, but your standard is I study when I feel like it, you're not gonna make it. If your goal is to build a business, but your standard is I work hard for a week, then slack off for 2. That dream is dead on arrival. Standards are what carry you when motivation walks out the door. I remember I used to live homeless, slept in abandoned buildings, ate out of trash cans, but I never lowered my standard for who I was. I told myself, Eric, you don't belong here. Not because I was better than anybody else, but because I refused to believe that this was all life had to offer. My circumstances were broke, but my mindset was rich. That's why I climbed out. That's why I'm here. Your standard should scream to the world you are before you even open your mouth in your mouth. When you walk in a room, people should feel your energy, your excellence, your drive. Not because you're trying to show off, but because your life is proof that you don't settle. When they see how you do the small things, with discipline, with passion, with consistency, they know you can handle the big things. But here's the truth. Raising your standards hurts. It's not cute. It's not fun. You don't get to chill when everyone else is chilling. You don't get to hit snooze just because it's cold outside. When you raise your standards, you break up with comfort. You divorce excuses. You stop explaining why you can't and start proving why you will. And let me tell you, some people won't like it. They're right. You're supposed to. You're supposed to outgrow laziness. You're supposed to rise above your past. You're supposed to demand more of yourself than anyone else ever has. Because if you don't raise your standard, you'll spend your whole life shrinking to fit places you were never meant to be in. You got to stop making room for average in your life. Stop making friends with mediocrity. When it shows up, kick it out. You don't have space in your schedule for good enough. You don't have energy to waste on maybe I'll try. From this point forward, your vocabulary changes. No more I'll try. It's I must. No more I hope. It's I will. No more maybe next time. It's right now. When you raise your standards, life starts to shift. Opportunities begin to show up. People treat you different. Doors open. But not because the world changed. It's because you changed. And when you operate at a higher level, you attract higher level results. People can feel it. They see the discipline. They hear the hunger, they respect the grind. You're not average, you never were. Everybody wants to be great when they feel good. Everybody wants success when the sun is shining, when they're pumped up, when the crowd is cheering, when the vibe is right. But let me ask you this. What happens when the hype dies down? What happens when you don't feel like it? When it's dark, when it's cold, when no one's watching and nobody's clapping, do you still show up? Because that's the difference between the average and the elite. That's the difference between hype and legacy. Motivation is temporary. Discipline is forever. You can't build anything real off of how you feel. Feelings change every 5 minutes. You felt like working out this morning? Great. What about tomorrow when it's raining? What about next week when your body is sore and your mind says, just skip it today? That's when the real ones separate themselves. That's when discipline steps in. Discipline says, I don't care how I feel. I care what I committed to. Discipline is the voice in your head that speaks louder than your excuses. Some of y'all waiting for motivation like it's oxygen. You scrolling through videos looking for a spark, hoping someone will say the perfect sentence that makes you finally move. But guess what? You don't need another spark. You need a system. You need a standard. You need to become the type of person who shows up even when you don't want to. Because that's where greatness lives. In the boring, in the routine, in the repetition. You think I felt like getting up at 3 a.m. every day? You think I was always excited to write books, record messages, speak on stages when I was exhausted, sick, broke? No, but I did it anyway. Because I didn't build my life on emotion. I built it on commitment. I built it on principles. See, motivation got me started, but discipline kept me going. The world is full of talented people who never made it. Why? Because they only worked when they were motivated. They only pushed when they were inspired. When inspiration fades, discipline is the thing that shows up every single day. Rain, shine, pain, fatigue, heartbreak, it doesn't matter. Discipline don't take days off. Discipline don't negotiate. You got dreams, I know. You say you want success. You say you want to change your life. But let me be real with you. Wanting is not enough. Wishing is not enough. Even praying alone is not enough. You gotta move, you gotta grind. You gotta get up and do the work when nobody's clapping, when nobody's watching, when nobody believes. That's the grind. That's discipline. You think Kobe Bryant became great because he was always motivated? No, he became great because he was obsessed with the work, because he had standards that didn't bend when the pressure hit. He got up at 4 a.m. Not because it felt good, but because that's what greatness required. He didn't wait for motivation. He trained it out of his system and replaced it with work ethic. That's what you need. You don't need more emotion. You need execution. You don't need more hype. You need habits. Motivation is the spark, but discipline is the engine. Without it, you're going nowhere. You'll start strong and finish nowhere. You'll light up for a week and burn out for a year. You'll be all potential and no results. I meet people all the time who tell me, I started a business, but it didn't work. I say, how long did you work on it? They say, 2 months. I say, 2 months? You think legacy is built in 2 months? You think results come from dipping your toe in the water? No, it takes years of consistency, years of waking up and putting in the reps, whether you feel like it or not. Let me tell you something, discipline ain't glamorous. It's not flashy, it's not sexy, it's not sexy. It doesn't look good on Instagram. It's lonely, it's quiet, it's boring, but it works while everyone else is sleeping. Playing, relaxing, discipline is grinding. While others are distracted by comfort, discipline is building something that can't be shaken. And here's the key. Once you develop real discipline, your whole life changes. You don't need reminders. You don't need motivation Mondays. You don't need someone else to check on you. You become your own boss, your own trainer, your own alarm clock. You stop needing permission to be great. You just show up and make it happen. You want to break average? Then break the habit of relying on motivation. Break the addiction of feeling good. Learn to do it tired. Do it sad. Do it broke. Do it scared. Because the version of you that wins is the version that stays consistent no matter what. The version that doesn't make excuses. The version that doesn't need perfect conditions to perform. You say you want it. Good. Prove it. Not when you feel good. Not when the sun is out. Prove it when you're dead tired. Prove it when nobody believes in you. Prove it when everything says, quit. That's the test. And if you pass it, you'll build something unstoppable. Not because you were always motivated. Everybody wants to go big. Everybody wants to blow up overnight. You want the success, the recognition, the lifestyle, the freedom, but you don't want the process. You're so caught up in the idea of doing something massive that you keep ignoring the power of doing something small every single day. And I'm here to tell you, that's the biggest mistake you can make, because the secret to greatness is not in the explosion. It's in the elevation. Little by little, day by day. That's how you win. That's how the elite rise. Not by doing it all at once, but by getting 1% better every single day. You don't need a miracle. You don't need a breakthrough. You need a system. You need consistency. You need discipline. But most of all, you need patience with the process. The 1% rule means you're not chasing perfection. You're chasing progress. You're not trying to leap from 0 to 100. You're just trying to be better than you were yesterday. Just 1 inch better. Just 1 inch better. Just 1 rep stronger. Just 1 smarter decision. 1 step forward. And then you do it again tomorrow. The reason most people stay stuck is because they think progress has to be loud. They think it has to be dramatic. But the truth, real transformation is quiet. It's built in the dark. It's built in moments nobody sees. When you study 30 minutes a day, when you hit the gym, even when you're tired, when you turn off the TV to work on your dream, that's 1%. And those 1% choices, they compound. See, average people think success is about intensity. They sprint, they go hard for 3 days, they burn out, and then they quit. But the greats play the long game. The greats understand it's not about how fast you move, it's about how long you can stay consistent. You can't be great if you only work when it feels good. You can't grow if you only commit when it's convenient. The 1% rule doesn't care about your mood, it just requires movement. Just requires movement. Let me break it down. If you improve by just 1% a day, after 1 year, you'll be 37 times better than where you started. That's not fantasy. That's math. That's discipline. That's real. But the key is that you can't stop. You can't take shortcuts. You can't take breaks just because you don't feel like it. You think champions feel like it every day? No. But they respect the grind. They respect the process. They trust the compounding. You've got dreams, and I respect that. But dreaming alone won't get it done. You say you want to write a book. Start with 1 paragraph a day. You want to lose weight. Change 1 meal. Add 1 walk. You want to be financially free? Save $1. Learn 1 skill. Take 1 risk. That's 1%. And if you keep stacking those small wins, you build momentum. And once you got momentum, you're dangerous. But you've got to stop quitting. You got to stop looking at how far you have to go and start focusing on what you can do today. That's the enemy. Comparison. You're watching other people, seeing that chapter 20 while you're still on chapter 1, and you get discouraged. You think it's too far, too hard, too late, but it's not. Because success isn't about distance, it's about direction. And if you're moving forward even by 1%, you're winning. Some of y'all been stuck not because you're lazy, but because you've been trying to change everything all at once. And when it doesn't happen in a week, you get frustrated. You fall off. You go back to your old ways. But the problem isn't you, it's your strategy. You're sprinting a marathon. And marathons are 1 step by step, not by leaps. I used to think I had to do it all. I had to be perfect. I had to fix everything overnight. But that mindset kept breaking me. I go hard for a few days, then crash. It wasn't until I learned the 1% rule that everything changed. I started building habits I could keep. I stopped trying to impress people and started trying to improve myself quietly, daily, relentlessly. That's when the shift happened. And yeah, it's hard. It's slow. You won't always see the results right away. But that's the test. Can you keep showing up even when there's no applause? Can you keep moving forward when nobody notices? Can you stay faithful to the grind when it feels like nothing's working? Because if you can, you're unstoppable. Greatness isn't a leap. It's a series of small steps that most people refuse to take. And every time you choose the 1%, every time you get up and do something, when it'd be easier to do nothing, you separate yourself from the pack. You rise, you become So stop trying to be perfect. Stop trying to make it all happen overnight. Just commit to 1% every day. No excuses, no breaks, no negotiation. Because the ones who rise are the ones who refuse to quit on the small things. And those small things, they become everything. You say you want success. You say you want to be great. You say you want to live at the highest level. But let me be real with you. You will never reach that level until you cut the dead weight. You can't climb carrying distraction. You can't elevate while you entertain nonsense. The reason so many people stay stuck isn't because they don't have talent. It's because they're too distracted to tap into it. Every time you try to focus, something pulls you. Every time you try to go higher, something drags you back. And that's something, you gotta kill it ruthlessly. Listen to me, your time is your life. And every second you give to distraction is a second you steal from your dream. Every moment you spend scrolling, gossiping, complaining, binge watching, every time you pick up that phone to check something that doesn't serve your purpose, you're delaying your destiny. You think it's innocent. You think it's just 5 minutes. But those 5 minutes become your whole day. And soon you look up and wonder where your life went. It went into distractions. You gotta get surgical. You gotta identify every single thing that pulls your attention, kills your energy, clouds your vision, and you gotta cut it, no hesitation, no mercy. You don't negotiate with what's robbing you. You eliminate it. Why? Because greatness doesn't have time to waste. Greatness doesn't tolerate clutter. Greatness lives in focus. And focus is a discipline. When I was on the grind trying to make it out of homelessness, I didn't have time for TV. I didn't have time for video games, for parties, for wasting hours on stuff that didn't build me up. I was hungry. I had tunnel vision. I told myself, you either stay focused or you stay broke. And that's what it came down to. Distractions weren't an option. I had to lock in. You gotta protect your energy like your life depends on it, because it does. Everything you give attention to either feeds your purpose or feeds your failure. And you've been feeding failure long enough. You've been giving time to people who don't support you, listening to voices that tear you down, entertaining habits that numb your pain instead of healing it. That's not self-care. That's self-destruction in disguise. Some of you need to delete apps today. Not tomorrow, today. Some of you need to block some numbers. Some of you need to shut the door on environments that distract you, tempt you, trap you. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm saying it's necessary. Because if you keep playing around with distractions, you're going to wake up 10 years from now in the same place, wondering why your life didn't change. And the answer will be, you were too distracted to change it. Look, the enemy of execution is distraction. You don't lack the ability, you lack the intensity, you don't lack the plan, you lack the focus. And focus means saying no. No to comfort, no to entertainment, no to distractions dressed up as opportunities. Everything that looks good to you ain't good for you. Everything popular ain't purposeful. You've got to decide what matters most and let go of everything else. This is the season to be aggressive with your focus, to guard it, to defend it, to prioritize it over everything. Because if you don't, someone else will use your time for their agenda. They'll flood your schedule. They'll hijack your day. They'll turn your dreams into dust while they chase theirs. It won't even be their fault. It'll be yours. Because you didn't say no, because you didn't shut the door, because you didn't protect the vision. There's a reason the greats look obsessed. There's a reason they seem intense. It's not because they're better. It's because they've eliminated what doesn't matter. They've cut the fluff. They've killed the noise. They've chosen focus over everything. And until you do the same, y'all always wonder why you're falling short. I'm not saying you can't rest. I'm not saying you can't enjoy life. But I am saying that you don't get to do both. Live distracted and expect greatness. You've got to earn clarity. You've got to earn focus. You've got to earn freedom. And that means making hard choices. That means getting uncomfortable. That means removing some things that feel good in the moment, but cost you everything in the long run. It's time to declutter. Clean your space. Clean your mind. Clean your phone. Clean your circle. Cut it down to what supports you, strengthens you, sharpens you, sharpens you. Anything else, let it go. That DM, let it go. That drama, let it go. That show that keeps you up all night, but does nothing for your future, let it go. You can't fly while carrying distractions. You want to soar, then lighten the load. At the end of the day, you're either distracted or you're dialed in. You're either focused or you're finished. The choice is yours. Nobody can make it for you. Everybody wants to win, but not everybody wants to work. Everybody wants success, but not everybody wants to grind. You say you want to be the best, then show me not with your words, not with your dreams, but with your work ethic. Because the truth is, talent is common, effort is rare. You can't control how smart you are, where you were born, or what resources you had growing up. But what you can control every single day is how hard you work. And that's the difference between average and elite, the grind. You're not gonna get to the top by wishing. You're not going to get there by being cute, by being comfortable, or by doing what everyone else is doing. You gotta outwork every single person around you. You gotta make up your mind that no one is gonna stay later. Show up earlier, push harder, or stay more committed than you. When they rest, you work. When they sleep, you train. When they make excuses, you execute. That's the mindset that breaks limits and shocks the world. I wasn't the smartest in the room. I wasn't the most talented, but I made a decision. I'm going to be the hardest worker in the room, no matter what. I'm going to put in the hours. I'm going to put in the reps. I'm going to outlast the excuses, the fatigue, the distractions. While they party, I prepare. While they chill, I build. While they talk, I move in silence and let my results do the talking. Because results don't lie. Effort never betrays you. You want your spot, earn it. You want respect, earn it. You want the crown, fight for it every single day. Because nobody's giving you. This world will overlook you, doubt you, ignore you, until you put in so much work they have no choice but to notice. You've got to make it impossible for them to deny you. Not by talking louder, but by grinding harder. Your name should be built on sweat. Your legacy should be written in hustle. I see too many written in hustle. I see too many people waiting for the perfect moment to start. They wait until they feel ready, until they get the right opportunity, the right resources. Let me tell you something. If you wait on perfect, you'll wait forever. There's no perfect time. The time is now. Right here, right now. You've got to start where you are with what you have and grind your way to the top. If all you've got is 1 hour, then dominate that hour. If all you got is a little talent, then push that talent till it becomes skill. Master what you have. The grind is lonely. The grind is brutal. It's 4 a.m. alarms. It's sore muscles. It's sacrifice. It's saying no when everyone else says yes. It's doing the work when no one claps. But that's the price. That's the cost of greatness. It's not paid in comfort. It's paid in sweat. You want a better life? Then put in better work. You want a different outcome? Then put in different hours. It's simple. Not easy, but simple. Outwork everybody. I've seen people with all the potential in the world fail because they didn't grind. And I've seen people with nothing become champions. They outwork the room. That's the formula. That's the secret sauce. Don't let your environment define you. Don't let your situation limit you. Let your effort be louder than your excuses. Let your hunger be louder than your pain. You've got to get addicted to the work. Love the process more than the prize. Because if you only work when you see results, you won't last. If you only grind when you feel like it, you won't make it. But if you learn to fall in love with the hustle, if you learn to love pushing past tired, past sore, past broke, past fear, then you become unstoppable. There's always someone more talented. There's always someone with more resources. But what they can't take from you is your will. They can't take your hustle. They can't take the grind. That belongs to you. And if you show up every single day and put in the work, I promise you, you will rise. You will separate yourself. Because most people don't want to do what it takes. They want the reward without the work. They want the spotlight without the sacrifice. But you've got to be different. You've got to outwork the pack. You got to go so hard that even your idols start watching you. You've got to hustle so consistently that your competition becomes your shadow. That's how you build greatness. One early morning at a time. One late night at a time. One rep at a time. One I'll do it anyway at a time. You don't wait for opportunity, you create it through effort, through focus, through relentless, unshakable work ethic. At the end of the day, you don't have to be perfect, you just have to be a beast when it comes to ethic. You just have to be relentless. While others complain, you train. While others hesitate, you act. While others hesitate, you act. While others quit, you go one more round. That's how you win. That's how you dominate. That's how you outwork everybody around you and never settle for average again. The moment you think you've arrived is the moment you start falling off. The second you start getting comfortable, that's when the grind starts slipping. I don't care how much you've achieved, there's always another level. And if you want to reach that next level, you've got to stay hungry. Not just hungry for the prize, but hungry for the process. Hungry to grow, hungry to grind, hungry to evolve. Because the people who stay hungry, they never stop climbing. See, hunger is the fuel. It's what pushes you when nobody's watching. It's what gets you up when the alarm goes off at 4 a.m. It's what keeps you studying when your friends are sleeping. It's what keeps you in the gym, on the track, in the library, working on your craft while others get lazy. When you're hungry, you don't need motivation. You're driven by something deeper. You're chasing legacy. You're chasing purpose. You got a fire that doesn't quit. But listen to me. Hunger alone is not enough. You got to balance it with humility. Because the moment you let success make you arrogant, you lose the edge. Pride will make you blind. Pride will make you ignore the basics. Pride will have you thinking you're too good to learn, too big to listen, too great to grind like you used to. And that mindset, that's what kills champions. I've seen it happen too many times. People start winning. They start getting attention, money, status, and they let it change them. They stop listening to mentors. They stop working as hard. They stop working as hard. They start cutting corners because they think they made it. It's all because they stopped doing what got them there in the first place. They stopped staying hungry. They stopped being humble. You got to remember where you came from. You've got to stay connected to the pain, the hunger, the grind that birthed your rise. That hunger, that humility, it has to live in you even when you start winning, especially when you start winning. Because success can become a trap. It can make you soft. It can make you lazy. That's why you got to remind yourself daily, you're not done. You're just getting started. Every day I wake up like I haven't won anything. I train like I'm broke. I study like I know nothing. I grind like I've got everything to prove because I do. That mindset, it keeps me sharp. It keeps me sharp. It keeps me humble. I won't let success get to my head, and I don't let failure get to my heart. I stay balanced. I stay grounded. I stay focused on the next level. And don't get it twisted. Being humble doesn't mean being weak. It means you respect the game. It means you honor the process. It means you understand that greatness isn't guaranteed. It's earned every single day. It means you listen more than you talk. You learn from those ahead of you. You stay open to correction. You stay committed to growth. Let me tell you something. There's always someone hungrier than you. There's always someone training harder, studying more, sacrificing more. And if you lose your hunger, they'll catch you. They'll pass you. They'll replace you. That's how it works. This world doesn't owe you anything. Just because you were great yesterday doesn't mean you'll be great tomorrow. You've got to earn it again. You've got to protect your hunger like your life depends on it. Feed it with vision. Feed it with discipline. Feed it with gratitude. Wake up every morning and remind yourself why you started. Remind yourself what you're chasing. Remind yourself that somebody out there is praying for the opportunities you take for granted. Stay thankful. Stay humble. But stay ruthless with your effort. Some of y'all get one win and think it's over. No, you don't stop when you win once. You double down, you go harder, you raise the bar. You ask, what's next? And then you go chase it like you're starving. That's the difference between winners and legends. Winners get comfortable. Legends stay hungry. Legends stay humble. They let the world praise them, but they don't let it get inside. They don't believe the hype. They just keep grinding. You gotta move like you're behind, even when you're ahead. You gotta act like you're broke, even when your pockets are full. You gotta train like a rookie, even when you're the vet. That's how you stay at the top. That's how you dominate long term. Because anybody can get there, but it takes character to stay there. It's easy to get inspired. It's harder to stay committed. But the people who go the distance, the ones who last, the ones who break every ceiling and shatter every limit, they're the ones who wake up every day with fire in their belly and humility in their heart. They don't just want it, they need it. And they're willing to outwork, outlearn, outgrow anyone who stands in their way. So stay hungry, stay humble, keep chasing the best version of you. Don't settle. Don't slow down. Don't let the applause distract you from the assignment. You will never be great until you're willing to let go of what's merely good. That's the truth. It sounds simple, but it's one of the hardest lessons you'll ever learn. Because good feels safe. Good feels comfortable. Good is what everyone else settles for, but you're not like everyone else. You weren't built to be average. You weren't created to be comfortable. You were designed to be phenomenal, and phenomenal requires sacrifice. Most people don't lose because they lack talent. They lose because they can't let go. They can't let go of the habits that hold them back. They can't let go of the people you drained them. They can't let go of comfort, entertainment, or security long enough to tap into the next level. You gotta make a decision. Do you want what's easy or do you want what's excellent? Because you can't have both. You see, the problem isn't always the bad. It's the good stuff that's keeping you from greatness. It's that decent job that pays the bills but kills your dream. It's that crowd that doesn't hate on you, but they don't push you either. It's that routine that's predictable but uninspiring. You've gotten used to just a fine. But let me tell you something. Fine is the enemy of phenomenal. A fine will keep you stuck. A fine will kill your hunger. A fine will put your fire out before it ever becomes a flame. You've got to be bold enough to walk away from what's comfortable and choose what's calling you. Greatness is always calling, but it speaks a language only the hungry understand. And you'll never hear it clearly as long as your life is too noisy with distraction, too full of a good enough, too packed with things that don't stretch you. You want to go higher? Then you've got to clear space. You've got to say no to some things that used to be yes. You got to leave some people behind. Not because you hate them, but because they're not headed where you're going. Every level you climb will require a deeper level of sacrifice. You don't level up without letting go. That's the price. You don't become a champion by doing what average people do. You become a champion by making champion decisions every single day. While they sleep, you sacrifice. While they scroll, you sacrifice. While they relax, you grind. You give up good time to buy great time later. You give up short-term comfort for long-term legacy. You give up now so you can dominate later. I didn't get here by accident. I got here by sacrifice. I said no to parties. I said no to wasting time. I said no to wasting time. I said no to mediocre relationships, to quick pleasure, to shortcuts. I said yes to pain, yes to discipline, yes to late nights and early mornings. That's the cost. And I paid it, not once, not for a season, every day, over and over again. Because greatness doesn't come on sale, it's full price. And you pay in blood, sweat, and sacrifice. You gotta start asking yourself, what am I holding on to that's holding me back? What am I clinging to that's keeping me comfortable when I'm supposed to be climbing? What do I need to give up to grow? Some of you, it's your ego. Some of you, it's fear. Some of you, it's friends who clap when you shrink, but get silent when you dream. You've gotta let it go. If it doesn't grow you, if it doesn't align with your vision, if it doesn't challenge you, it doesn't belong. I know it hurts. I know it's scary, but you got to stop choosing safety over purpose. You've got to stop playing defense with your life. You've got to get aggressive about your growth. Because good will always be there. It will always try to pull you back. It will always whisper, oh, why risk it? This is enough. You're fine here. But you've got to shout back, or no, I didn't come this far to settle. I came to dominate. I came to build legacy. I came to be great. There's something inside of you that knows you were made for more. And if you don't sacrifice now, you'll live the rest of your life wondering what you could have become. Regret is what happens when you choose the good and walk away from the great. Don't let that be your story. Let your story be one of courage, of sacrifice, of choosing greatness, even when it cost everything. Because one day you'll look back and realize every sacrifice was worth it. The friends who didn't understand, the sleep you gave up, the risks you took, the tears you cried, it was all worth it. Because you didn't settle. You didn't bow down to a good enough. You stood up for greatness. And now the world knows your name, not because you were lucky, but because you were willing to pay the price when nobody else would. So if you want to rise, if you want to lead, if you want to dominate, then start sacrificing. Not next week, not next year. Now, give up the good, go after the great. Go after the great and don't ever look back. Failure is not the opposite of success. It's part of the process. If you want to win big, you have to learn to fail big. You have to learn to fall down and get back up stronger every single time. Failure is not a stop sign. It's a stepping stone. It's the fire that forges champions. The people who say they never failed are either lying or they've never really tried. Real success is built on a foundation of setbacks, mistakes, and moments when everything looked like it was falling apart. But the difference between those who succeed and those who give up is how you respond to failure. You have to shift your mindset. Stop seeing failure as a defeat. Start seeing it as fuel. Fuel to ignite your passion. Fuel to sharpen your focus. Fuel to remind you why you started. When you fail, that's your moment to lean in harder, to get up faster, to grind longer. Every time you stumble, it's an opportunity to learn something new about yourself and your mission. It's a chance to build mental toughness, resilience, and grit. These are the qualities that no classroom or book can teach you. They're earned in the struggle. I know what it feels like to fail. I know what it feels like to lose everything you work for in a moment. But I also know what it feels like to use that pain as power. When you hit rock bottom, you got two choices: stay down or get up and fight. The people who stay down, they become statistics. The people who get up, they become legends. You've got to be a fighter. You've got to have the heart of a warrior because success demands it. Failure tests your commitment. It exposes your true character. When the crowd leaves and the cheers stop, who are you? When no one's watching and the world is silent, will you keep pushing? That's what failure reveals. It shows you who's in it for the glory and who's in it for the grind. The glory seekers quit. The grinders win. When failure comes knocking, you answer by working harder, by focusing sharper, by dreaming bigger. Don't be afraid of failure. Be afraid of not trying. Be afraid of playing it safe and settling for average. Because the greatest risk is not taking a risk at all. The greatest failure is not daring to fail. If you want to be more than ordinary, you have to be willing to fall. You have to be willing to get rejected, to be told no, to face criticism, to make mistakes. But every failure brings you closer to success. Every no brings you closer to yes. Every setback brings you closer to your breakthrough. You have to analyze your failures. Don't just brush them off or get discouraged. Break them down. What went wrong? What can you improve? What did you learn? That's how you turn failure into feedback and feedback into progress. It's a cycle that never stops for the relentless. You have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable, because growth doesn't happen in comfort zones. It happens when you push past your limits and embrace the struggle. The story of success is never a straight line. It's filled with detours, dead ends, and disappointments. But if you keep your eyes on the prize and your heart in the fight, failure becomes a tool, not a trap. It becomes a motivator, not a murderer of dreams. It becomes the reason you're stronger, smarter, and more prepared than you were yesterday. Look at every champion, every legend, and you'll see failure behind their success. Michael Jordan missed more than 9,000 shots in his career. Oprah Winfrey was fired from her first TV job. Thomas Edison failed thousands of times before inventing the light bulb. But what sets them apart is that they didn't let failure define them. They let it refine them. You have to adopt that same mindset. When failure hits, don't shut down, don't fold, don't quit, double down. Use that energy to fuel your hustle. Let failure be your teacher, not your jailer. The pain you feel now is shaping you. The setbacks you face now are preparing you for your biggest comeback. And that comeback is coming if you refuse to give up. The truth is, failure is necessary. It's part of the journey. It's a sign you're moving, you're growing, you're living. If you're not failing, you're not trying hard enough. You're not stretching far enough. You're playing too safe. But safe never changed the world. Safe never made history. Safe never left a legacy. So embrace failure. Embrace failure. Welcome it. Learn from it. Let it drive you. Let it build your story. The difference between average and greatness isn't talent or luck. It's how you turn failure into fuel to keep moving forward when everything in you wants to quit. You got to get comfortable with falling because that's the only way you'll learn to fly. Fail hard, fail fast, fail forward, and then get back up. Again, and again, and again, that's the only way to win. Average is a disease. It's the silent killer of dreams, the thief of potential, the comfort zone disguised as success. It whispers in your ear, and this is good enough. It says, you've done more than most. It makes you believe that you arrived when you haven't even scratched the surface. But I came to tell you, never settle for average. Never accept ordinary. Never look at your life and say, this is fine. Because you weren't created for fine. You were created for phenomenal. Let me break it to you. Average is easy. That's why most people choose it. Average doesn't ask for sacrifice. Average doesn't demand long nights, early mornings, tears, or sweat. Average lets you sleep in. Average lets you party all weekend. Average says you deserve a break. But greatness doesn't come to people who take breaks from their purpose. Greatness doesn't come to the person who's half in, half out. Greatness requires full commitment. It demands everything. You got to make a decision that from this moment forward, you are done with average. You are done with just getting by. Done with doing just getting by. Done with doing just enough. Done with fitting in. Because the truth is, you weren't born to fit in. You were born to stand out. You were born to rise, to break chains, to lead, to dominate. But none of that happens if you keep living like everybody else. You see, average people do what's convenient. Extraordinary people do what's necessary. Average people wait for motivation. Greatness grinds with or without it. Average people live by how they feel. The elite lie by principles, values, and discipline. You've got to get to a place in your life where you stop negotiating with your goals, where you stop debating whether or not you feel like doing the work. Because greatness doesn't care how you feel. It only responds to action. You've been given a gift, life, opportunity, breath in your lungs. That means you still have time. But the question is, what are you doing with it? Are you wasting it trying to look cool, trying to fit in, trying to avoid pain, trying to stay comfortable? Or are you attacking your purpose? Are you waking up hungry, driven, focused, and relentless? If not, then you're settling. You're giving the world a watered down version of your potential. And that's not okay. You think the greats got to where they are by accepting average? Kobe Bryant didn't settle. He was in the gym at 4 a.m. while others were sleeping. Elon Musk didn't settle. He risked everything to chase impossible dreams. Serena Williams didn't settle. She trained harder than anyone else in her field. Greatness doesn't happen by chance. It's built by choice. Every single day, the decision to outwork, outlast, and outperform everyone around you. It's not about being better than others. It's about being better than you were yesterday. It's about squeezing out every ounce of potential that's inside of you and refusing to leave anything on the table. It's about looking in the mirror at the end of the day and knowing you gave it all. That you left no gas in the tank. That you pushed yourself past limits others told you were permanent. Average wants you to play it safe. Average wants you to dream small. But the world doesn't need more safe people. The world doesn't need more people who just follow the rules and never question a system. The world needs leaders, innovators, dreamers who refuse to accept the status quo. That's you. But you'll never step into that power if you're still entertaining average thoughts, average habits, average people. You've got to raise your standard. Raise the way you see yourself. Raise your discipline. Raise your expectation. Quote-unquote, you've got to demand more from your life. Stop saying, this is just the way I am. No, this is the way you're choosing to be. And every day you have a choice. Stay average or rise above. Every single decision is a vote for the person you're becoming. And if those votes are for comfort, distraction, and excuses, then don't expect an extraordinary result. You want a life that's different? Then your grind's got to be different. Your focus has to be sharper. Your discipline has to be tighter. Your standards have to be higher. While average folks look for weekends, vacations, and shortcuts, you build, you grow, you sacrifice. Because your vision is bigger than their comfort, your purpose is louder than their opinion. Your destiny is greater than your distractions. It's not going to be easy, but you weren't built for easy. You were built for impact, and impact requires intentional living. You can't coast into greatness. You have to fight for it. Every day, with every ounce of strength, with every tear, with every setback, with every lonely moment when nobody claps for you. That's when you find out who you are. So I dare you, never settle again. Never look at your dream and think it's too big. Never lower your goals to match your comfort. Raise your effort to match your vision. Your words are power. Life and death are in the tongue. You can't talk like a failure and expect to win. You can't speak defeat and expect victory. If you want to rise, if you want to climb, if you want to be great, then you've got to start speaking life over your future. You've got to prophesy over yourself. You've got to speak like you've already arrived. Not because you're pretending, but because you're preparing. Because your words set the direction your life will go. Stop talking like you're average. Stop speaking doubt, fear, and limitation over your dreams. Some of you aren't failing because of a lack of effort. You're failing because of the words coming out of your mouth. Every day you wake up talking about how tired you are, how it's too hard, how you'll never make it. You think it's harmless, but your mouth is training your mind. Your mouth is building your belief system. And the more you speak weakness, the more your life will produce it. You gotta reprogram yourself. Start speaking like the champion you're becoming. Start declaring what's possible instead of rehearsing what went wrong. Don't say I'll never get out of this situation. Say I'm just getting started. Don't say I'm not smart enough. Say I'm learning every day and nothing can stop me. Stop waiting for someone else to encourage you. Be your own hype man. Encourage yourself. Motivate yourself. Motivate yourself. Look in the mirror and say, I am chosen. I am equipped. I am dangerous to mediocrity. You think greatness starts in the gym, in the office, on the field? No. Greatness starts in the mind. And the fastest way to shift your mindset is to shift your mouth. Speak to yourself the way a winner speaks. Train yourself to hear words of focus, not fear. Power, not panic. Progress, not pity. You have to kill average with your voice. Declare war on mediocrity every morning with your words. Today, I will dominate. Today, I will not be average. Today, I will take a step closer to great. You're not crazy for talking to yourself. You're crazy if you don't. You've been listening to the wrong voices for too long. Teachers who told you you'd never be anything. Family who couldn't see your potential. Friends who laughed at your dreams. But now it's your turn. Now your voice becomes louder than theirs. Now your voice becomes your fuel. You got to drown out the doubt with declarations. You've got to outtalk the fear. Because every time you speak life, you're building momentum. You're setting the tone. You're creating a new standard. Think about this. Every great leader, every champion, every successful person, at some point they had to speak their future before they saw it. They had to believe in the invisible. They had to say, one day, I'll be there. And even when nobody else believed, even when nobody clapped, they kept speaking because they understood that their words were shaping their world, and so are yours. Start creating your new world. Even if you're broke, speak abundance. Even if you're tired, speak strength. Even if you're behind, speak acceleration. Your circumstances might not change overnight, but your mindset will. And when your mindset changes, your habits change. When your habits change, your future changes. That's the power of the spoken word. Don't let your words be filled with complaints. Complainers don't climb. You can't complain and conquer at the same time. You've got to switch from victim language to victory language. From a why me to a try me. From it's too hard to I was built for this. That's how champions talk. They don't let what's in front of them control what comes out of them. They speak life, even when life doesn't look good. When I was homeless, I had to talk like a king. When I had nothing, I still said I would be great. When people laughed, I said, keep watching. When doors closed, I said, I bet it wasn't coming. Well, I didn't wait for life to validate me. I spoke my future into existence. And that's what you have to do. You don't need the world to co-sign your greatness. You need to co-sign yourself with your mouth, with your belief, with your grind, with your brine. So every single morning from this day forward, speak light. Don't just make affirmation, make declarations. Talk like it's already done. Declare that you're healed. Declare that you're focused. Declare that you're rising, growing, expanding, and evolving. Your mouth is a weapon. Aim it at your future. Use it to build, not break. Use it to push, not pause. Speak like your life depends on it because it does. You got the power. Right now, not tomorrow. Not next year. Right now, use your voice to fuel your fire. Use your words to fight back. You're not average, you're not weak, you're not behind. You're a warrior, a leader, visionary, so speak like it.